The time is now 6 p.m. The Spring Lake Board of Commissioners regular meeting is now called to order. That sounds good. Our Evangelist Sanford was here to do lead us in our pledge of allegiance and invocation, but she's unable to be with us right now. Is anybody led to lead or feels the urge to be at the podium, lead us in our prayer and invocation? Don't everybody jump at once. Kristen. Where's Kristen? Come on, Kristen. Please stand and, if you so choose to.
Bow your heads if you choose to. Father God, we ask you in the name of Jesus that you lead and guide us in this meeting for us to make the right decisions. Build us where we're strong and strengthen us where we're weak. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you. All right, we will now move on to agenda item 3, additions and deletions. Commissioner Palacios.
I'd like to add a Veterans Day mural update.
All right, and we are going to put that as agenda item 7D. Are there any other additions or deletions? Hearing none, I'll now entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Commissioner Palacios.
Move to approve the agenda with the amended additions.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We will now move on to the approval of our consent items, which are the draft minutes of the June 10th, 2024 regular meeting. Mayor Pro Tem. I like that.
So moved.
Commissioner Chadwick.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We have no public comments today, so we will move right on to our presentation. Cumberland Community Development Block Grant. I see Devin and Ty.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Commissioner. That sounds good to say, Commissioner.
Doesn't it?
I'm used to saying Commissioner, so. Yes, so my name is Ty Ball, and my day job, I'm the County Chief of Staff, but with the retirement of Ms. Dee Taylor back on March 31st, I'm moonlighting as the Community Development Director until we hire somebody. That time is coming.
Don't sound so excited.
If ARPA was over, I would have more time. But pleasure to be in front of you this evening. Here to speak on in regards to the urban county designation. And so you might be aware. I know when staff came before you with the annual action plan, they talked a little bit about this, that this was coming. And so in past years, the agreement was originally adopted in 2003, and then there was subsequently a amendment to that agreement, cooperation agreement in 2005, and then 2006, and then again in 2015. So when it was amended in 2005, there was an actual amended agreement that was entered into, and in the subsequent amendments of that, it was a resolution that was passed. HUD has come back to County Community Development and instructed us that the appropriate thing to do is to actually do the amendment. And so we would actually be entering into a amended cooperation agreement between the county and the 8 participating municipalities, of course, minus the city of Fayetteville. And so I know that you have the agreement in your packets, and you may have had the opportunity to read it before. So I will not bore you and read to you, so we are asking that, yes ma'am.
This is the same
it's under the amended incorporation agreement is under item 9D.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
And so
Ty,
what,
back to you.
yes, ma'am, and so what you'll find is, the county attorney and the staff has gone through that original 2003 agreement and also the subsequent, resolution and agreement. We have, combined that into one document and also made some, textual, changes to, make sure the language aligns with, what, the housing urban development, would have us have in the agreement. And so, the ask, this evening is, for, the approval of that amended agreement and for, the board to, permit the mayor, to sign, that amended agreement.
Are there any questions? Any discussion?
What, I have,
Ma'am,
what is the total amount what is the amount? I never saw the full amount in, of what this covers, cause I know Federal took a bunch of money.
So, that's a good question. So, with the annual action plan, of course, we have CDBG and home funds. And I do apologize, don't have I should have had those numbers in front of me. I don't have the exact numbers. Doug, do you remember
About 900,000 in CDBG and about 383,000
in home? That's about
one
what
more
it is.
time?
So it's about 900 and 950 in, CDBG, and then about 383K in home funds.
To be split among.
The eight
municipalities.
unincorporated areas, yes, ma'am. I will say that, since the program's inception, the largest beneficiary of, community development funds is Spring Lake.
Through Kingdom CDC, right?
So, through those projects, but also through our housing, rehab program, our rental rehab program, just, of course, over the years, it's somewhere in the ballpark of, about $6 million since the program's inception. But that's economic development, that's rental rehab, microloan programs, basically every program that we offer. But I know we've done quite a few, rental rehab projects.
And these are through private developers?
So the housing rehab projects, that's what I meant to say, housing rehab projects, so we have, we have folks on staff at community development, who serve as project managers. We accept applications throughout the year, the program years, and based on, permissibility through HUD guidelines, we're able to do, housing rehab projects such as, areas that, may need, weatherization, if someone has their houses in unlivable conditions, we're able to go in there and do that work for them. Basically everything except for, single wide, homes, we're able to do. We're actually working on with, NC Housing Financing Agency to take on those projects and get funding that would allow us to take on those type of projects. So we're trying to grow and expand.
Are there any other, you finished? No. Oh, go ahead.
Mayor, may I?
Yes, go ahead.
Ty, do you have anything available that would assist for, maybe the demolition of some of these blighted housing units in residential neighborhoods?
So we do budget for demolition, and so we do have, some of that that's allocated for that. Are you speaking specifically just the demolition or the demolition and then replacement, or just specifically demolition?
Let me give you a little bit of background.
Sure.
So I had a program where I was from. We purchased 28 lots throughout the city, tore down the blighted structures that were unfit for human habitation, and then took ownership of the lots and then sold those lots back out to private investors to rebuild on those lots. And so basically, we took ownership of the lots to clean them up. and then we're putting it back to the private market to redevelop on it. So, you have an increase in your tax digest by doing that because you're replacing old dilapidated things that are causing blight in that community with something that's newer development. So, rising tide raises all boats. So that's what we're talking about. We partner, where if we had the funding, we could also take and partner with the CDBG, and in this case, we did it with COG.
Okay.
To actually assist in partnering and actually demolition our staff, actually, and burn some of the properties, material, and put it into roll-offs. So that's what I'm referring to, just out there for the record.
Absolutely.
Basically, I think all.
Yes, sir, definitely, we can definitely, like I said, we do allocate funding, for demolition. We can definitely, see what we can do, and we can definitely have that conversation.
Liam, could you assist? Take a little bit there. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So, I guess, so what am I know you said that, the housing rehabilitation, that's done through Kingdom. Would it be possible to do it through another avenue, because everybody doesn't know that it exists, and, so, you have people who have need, but don't know, how do we get it to them, that there is somewhere to go. So even if the money were to be able to be applied for through the town or something, but I feel like that's a program that would better suit us than, just through one organization.
Sure, I think we're always looking for, opportunities to build capacity, and a lot of times, we have a situation now, where, we have, situations where we like to expand capacity to other organizations, but it just may not exist at the time, and we do our best to, empower other organizations who can take on, more functionality through capacity. I'll say just specifically to this with the urban county designation, one of the benefits that comes out of this, with being in that cohort, basically, it allows us to use our collective, tier 1 status in order to get these funds to be able to do this work. The alternative, for example, would be municipalities entering into or deciding not to be a part of that group, and then what happens is the money is no longer guaranteed, and basically what it would be is each municipality basically deciding on a project, and they will be applying to HUD for that project, and then it's a competitive situation where HUD could decide, or make a determination based on the criteria whether to award the project. And fortunately, through the urban county designation process, we don't have to go through a lot of those hoops.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any other questions? Thank you so much, Ty.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Come back and see us often.
You said no.
Talking to Devin too.
You said no.
No, seriously. Come back and
Oh, I'm
see us.
sorry. Are you able to vote on this thing? I'm sorry, Devin just got me.
There will be a vote later
Later
on
on,
the
nine.
agenda.
Only to the very out of the business.
That's right. You're doing just presentations right now.
Wanted to make sure they come out here and they do it.
No, we got it. Wait a minute. Okay, so we are now on step in B, which is First Friday updates. Yay! Are you guys as excited about this as I am? Because I literally go to sleep thinking about First Friday on Main, wake up thinking about First Friday on Main. There's something about this, the events that are playing in front of me that really gets me excited. But more than the event planning, is this is something that the community has been asking for since the very first door I knocked on when we started campaigning back in 21. Give us something to do, give us something to do. How many times have we all individually heard about how Main Street was thriving once upon a time, and the parades that happened there, and the gatherings that happened on Main Street? And so we really wanted to see that revitalized, because Main Street is the heart of our town, and our heart right now is not beating very strong. And so we need our community to come and infuse some life back in that area, not just for our own entertainment, enjoyment, and fellowship, but this bleeds over into economic development. The more people we get out there on Main Street, the more eyes we get put on those dilapidated buildings and open spaces, that makes us in prime location, that makes us right for development. So this will be very brief. Again, a community invitation that we want to announce our First Friday on Main series, happening every first Friday from August to November. We actually were going to start in July, but our entertainment had a huge hiccup, and they weren't able to come in, and we decided to go ahead and push back a month, and keep it going with the beginning in August. So we invite everybody in town, across town, around town, neighboring municipalities to come out and have a good time with us. So our first event, this series will happen on August 3rd from 6 to 9 p.m. The location is Main Street, Spring Lake, between Johnson Street and Spring Avenue. There are road closures already in place. We voted on that a few months back. The ordinance has already been sent to DOT and it has been approved all the way out until November. So we don't have to bring that before the board again. Our entertainment, this series, or for our August 1st Friday, is Michael Daughtry and the Drift. He's a local artist right now who is topping the Billboard charts. He's a great artist. We got to watch him develop. He's been playing in our community for years throughout the county. Great guy. I look forward to a very entertaining show. Of course, we have some other acts throughout the night. We have vendors, food trucks, and of course our kids area. And we welcome and encourage participants to come on out if you wish to set up a booth, if you want to be a performer, if you want to, just get involved, if you want to volunteer, definitely let us know. You can reach out to our clerk. As of right now, she is my informational point of contact, but let her know and we will get you set up. So there'll be vendor opportunities for the public. Our food trucks are $75, craft vendors are $50, and this is for food trucks only. I love food stands. I love that buffet style. It's great. However, it can pose health risks, and we want to make sure that we have insured and vetted food trucks that have all of their health permits for your safety and ours. There's also sponsorship opportunities. This is for private individuals as well as businesses, organizations, anybody who wants to help us move this project, keep it going, and at no cost to the town is our goal. So the more sponsorships we have, the better. These are our gold, silver, and bronze sponsorships. Gold, silver, and bronze sponsorships. However, all contributions are accepted. So thanks, that's it. I just want to make sure you guys know that this is coming. Stay tuned to your social media pages and other media outlets for more advertisements. And please tell as many people as you can. We want to pack First Friday on Main out and just have a really good time. Some side notes for the board, just wanted to make sure you guys know in advance, a letter has been drafted and will be sent to all churches, business owners, and residents that are on Main Street between Green Street all the way down to the roundabout. So everybody in between will get a notification letting them know First Friday on Main, come out and participate, road closures, et cetera, et cetera. Sponsorship dollars are coming in. We've got all of our revenue lines set up, or we finished with the revenue lines, Mr. Rory?
Yes.
Everything's set up, so vendor and sponsorship payments will be able to be taken right now down at revenue. They can pay directly for their vendors and sponsorships, but they have gone, Mr. Rory and finance have gone just a step further to make sure that they have created separate line items for vendors, sponsors, donations, things like that, just so that when we use this line for other events, because it is for our special events, we can annotate what's coming from where, who paid it, and track it per event. So I believe.
Can I ask?
Yes, you asked.
So there's an application to fill out when they come down here to pay?
Yes, I have not got the application out, so because we're pushing for time with vendors, and I wanted to make sure that our first vendors were jam-packed. I'm doing a lot of hand selecting, to reach out to vendors instead of putting out a huge blast, kind of controlling the first one, with like hand selecting vendors to put them out there, and then we're gonna blast it out to everybody. So, but again, I wanted to make sure we point out that all of our revenue is separated. Mayor Pro Tem.
Our churches, their vendor fees the same as everybody else, or?
Well, for the vendor, like, that's why I'm hand selecting this time, there'll be a, specific amount of booths set aside for resource vendors. So, for example, if the county wants to come out and set up a table, they're just giving things away and passing out information and resources that our community needs, no charge for them. Same thing with nonprofits or churches that aren't selling anything. If you are selling food or anything, you have to pay for your vendor booth. All of this money, again, goes right back into our special events, line for more events for the community. Yay. Any other questions? I'm super excited about this, y'all. We've got our entertainment lined up out to November, so I'm stoked, like super stoked. But that's all I have. No other questions? All right, we'll keep it moving to Commissioner Palacio's Yard of the Month.
Yard of the month.
Yay! I love today.
So Yard of the Month is where we honor our residents and our neighbors who maintain and upkeep their property in a way that overall beautifies the town. So we have two winners for Yard of the Month for the month of July, and that is Deborah McLam off of 6th Street and Teresita Brown of Maranatha Drive, and that is a Deerfield. Are either of the winners here tonight? No. Yes.
Yay!
You're sitting next to Miss Wilt, so I assume you are Miss Brown. How are you doing? Congratulations. And why don't we get the board up here? Come on down, take a picture. Because we do want to hit get my. And we'll get a volunteer for a picture, please. There we go.
How about you? Are you okay?
I survived.
Are you okay?
Do you want to come in front of the flag?
We'll do it right here.
You don't want the flag behind you?
No, it's too much squeeze, man.
Yeah, it is.
Get it out.
Come on, Jan.
Today's a cute dress day.
Thank you very much. And congratulations. And we'll make sure Mrs. McLam gets her certificate as well.
Awesome, that was great.
Spring Lake, thank you, Ms. Brown.
All right, are we moving on to the next agenda item?
Ready.
Absolutely, we're gonna keep rocking and rolling with Commissioner Palacios on our Veterans Day update.
Ms. Will, come on up and take care of this one. So she is, for those of that don't know, she is the chair of our appearance committee.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Commissioners. So I am representing the Appearance Committee, and I'm here to update you on the next mural. And you can see on the video here that we have the image for you. So let me give you a little bit of background on that. We did get feedback from the public, from military personnel, and we got feedback from Military and Veterans Advisory Committee. So we did get a lot of feedback on that before a final decision has been made. And the artist did make revisions once the decisions were made. So in this one, we see a Special Forces soldier overlooking the city. And you have a skyline, and you have the shield that represents the Special Forces Division. Now, in the skyline, you may notice that we do have the Twin Towers in there. And that was something that was suggested by some of the military personnel, because they said the Twin Towers during that time, that was when they re-enlisted or enlisted for the first time, and it kept coming up, so that was something that was added to the image. So that's what we're looking at now, and this is in this mural, we are trying to have it sponsored and have donations come in for this mural, and the current goal is 12,400, it could be up to 13,000. And we, hopefully, by the end of next month, we will have an actual print, like we did the last time, and we'll bring it in for your viewing. And the installation of this mural is expected to be October 2024, in time for our Veterans Ceremony on November the 8th, Friday, November the 8th. And we'll do it again. So that's what we're looking forward to. Hopefully, we're out beating the bushes, trying to get donations. So if you know anybody who would like to donate towards this mural, donations are coming here to the town and designated for the mural. And Commissioner Palacios, do you want to say anything else?
With the mayor's permission.
No.
Last time I jumped the gun. So, just as a reminder, this is going up at the Station Time building, which is at the end of Main Street. So when you are leaving town and coming into town, you'll be able to see this mural, specifically for the special operations. That was it.
Well, I want to commend you guys because 3 murals in a year and a half? That's unheard of.
Yeah, and one of the murals was sponsored with Devin's team.
Right, and the chamber, the
Yes.
Greater Sand Hills Chamber. It's spectacular work. The murals on Main Street alone, they bring me so much joy, and if they do that for me, I can only imagine what they're doing for other people.
Yes.
Thank you, because art inspires. It's so much more than just a pretty picture. And the reverence that we're paying to our soldiers, the veterans and their families, it makes me emotional. So I genuinely appreciate the work that you guys have put in, the idea, seeing it through from start to finish. This is a game changer for this town forever. Like, you guys, that's legend, legendary.
Thank you. We plan to continue, and this is for this year. We'll work on something else for next year.
I love it. Thank you so much. Mayor Pro Tem?
Thank you. As the mayor said, thank you. It means so much, and I know, I remember when you first started this, and it seems like you all have just flown. And you know, one thing I know is that art brings people together. You know, there's very little division in the arts. So I just thank you, and I know you all are planning a sculpture.
It's
You know,
gonna be on the roundabout.
yeah, so, it's just amazing. Thank you, Commissioner Palacios, for your dedication as well. This has just really brightened up our downtown, and I think, you know, we're on the rise. So thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, now it's time to do the work. No more fluffy stuff, got it. All right, we'll now move on to agenda item 8, our public hearing for ZON 240018 rezoning from O&I Office and Industrial District to R6 Residential District, or a more restrictive zoning district for lots 6, 8, and 10 of the MM Winters subdivision for 1.1 plus or minus acres located at the southwest corner of the intersection of Warfield and Elizabeth Street, submitted by Mr. Manning on behalf of King Hospitality, Inc. Mr. Timothy Dorson. Hi, Tim.
Hello.
Take it away.
Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the Board of Commissioners. How are you doing?
We are wonderful, thank you.
That's good. So my name is Timothy Dorsam. I'm a planner 1 with Cumberland County Current Planning, and I'm here to present ZON-24-0018. This is located over at the southeast corner, the intersection of Warfield Street and Elizabeth Street. And this is for rezoning from O&I Office and Institutional to R6 residential for lots 6, 8, and 10 of the Inman Winter subdivision. The purpose of it is to take these 3 lots along with lot 7 to further develop into residential dwelling units. Currently, there is, according to Exhibit C, there are water and sewer utility lines that we will have access to, which would be good because currently there's a development potential of 0 for the subject parcel since they're O&I, which is like a minor commercial district zoning. Whereas when they go to R6, they can have development potential of up to 13 dwelling units. So having the utility lines there would be very helpful for that. And when comprehensive planning got back to us regarding the subject parcels, they saw that it is located within the high-density residential district or residential category for the Spring Lake area land use plan. So this normally calls for R5, but they also saw that it's consistent because one of the development goals is that slightly less dense residential districts can be consistent. It is within the same character of the surrounding area, and the majority of the surrounding land uses are R6, especially to the south and the east, so it fits perfectly and kind of mirrors what is around them. So along with the character being matched by that, along with following the land use plan and the utility lines, Cumberland County Current Planning's Planning Inspection Department found that it was consistent and would be recommended approval by our department, and that we feel the same about it. That concludes my presentation, but if you have any other questions about this development or the intent by Mr. Carl Manning or King Hospitality, I'd be happy to answer.
Are there any questions from the board? Chair Perkins?
Thank you. You said R6, is it, that doesn't allow mobile home parks, right? It's R6A for mobile?
R6A would be mobile homes, ma'am.
Okay.
R6 would not allow for mobile homes to be in that development from, according to Spring Lake's zoning ordinance.
Okay, just wanted to be sure of that, all right, thank you.
Commissioner Palacios?
So, R6, though, you're saying is high density, right?
Yes, sir.
So 13 units, up to 13 units can be placed on this property?
Yes, sir.
There's no intention right now to parcel out this property, right?
Mr. Manning hasn't approached us with any particular development plan for it. When we did meet initially, he did say what he wanted to do at first was with those 3 parcels and lot 7, he wanted to at least do 8 total units. So basically kind of splitting each into 2 and giving them their own housing units for lots 6, 7, 8, and 10. So that's what his initial idea was to us when he approached current planning with the prospect of it, was to take these 4, split them each into 2 and have a total of 8 dwelling units to service the community.
The surrounding property, those are homes, right?
Yes, sir.
Those are housing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions from the board?
What's the total land, is it 1.1 acres?
Oh, yes, ma'am. The affected parcels, the 3 parcels are about 1.1 acres in size combined.
Okay, is there any zoning that would allow for it to be not be so dense?
I think the next highest zoning category would be R10. I need to check and see, I would have to check and see with comprehensive planning if R10 would be generally considered better. I know in recent times, comprehensive planning has taken a stance that if you try and go to less dense, so going from say R6 to R10, they're fine with that because they mostly get into if you try to go denser than what the category is comfortable with. R5, I believe, is the smallest category there is, so if they wanted to go to R10, for that, that would also be something that comprehensive planning would most likely look at and say is fine, since they're not trying to go denser than what is allowed, or what is considered the most appropriate zoning category.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I now declare this public hearing open for case number ZON 240018, rezoning from ONI Office and Institutional District R6 to, or District 2, R6 residential district or more restrictive zoning district for lot 6, 8, and 10 of the MB Winter subdivision in Elizabeth Street. Now open. Is there anyone here to speak in favor of this request? Mr. Manning, would you like to explain anything or elaborate on this?
You did a great job, so.
That's fine, I just wanted to give you the opportunity. That's all. Is there anyone else here to speak in favor of this request? Last time, is there anyone here to speak in favor of this request? Hearing none, is there anyone to speak in opposition of this request? Anyone here to speak in opposition? Last call, if anyone is here to speak in opposition of this request. If not, I declare this public hearing closed. Are there any other questions or comments from the board? Awesome. Oh, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. Ms. Rory, is there a negative effect on having homes that in such a dense, built that in such a dense way? Is there a negative effect on us? Or would you?
I would actually encourage it. In the city of town,
Encourage the
yes.
density?
I would encourage density, and, actually plan on addressing that as part of my comments tonight.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
I think if it, on behalf of the applicant, if the density is consistent with what surrounds it, if it is urban, it should be developed as urban. It shouldn't be a lower step down density within R6. If you want lower step down density to R10, R20 or something like that, you need to get on those driving areas.
Right, and I know, people don't really care for bigger yards, people like me who grew up in the country, we like lots of yards, but, so I know that is the trend, it seems, that people want smaller yards. I just want to give your opinion on that. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna move on to our new business, and now entertain a motion to approve ZON 240018 rezoning from ONI office and institutional district to R6 residential district or more restricted zoning district for lots 6, 8, and 10 of the MB Winter subdivision for 1.1 plus or minus acres located at the southeast corner of the intersection of Warfield and Elizabeth Street. Mayor Pro Tem?
I was so
Commissioner Chadwick, say, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, motion carries. We are now on 9B, an amendment to the draft Town of Spring Lake Code Ordinance, Chapter 2, Administration of Article 4, Finance and Revenue Taxation, Division 1, and this is by Mr. Rory.
I am so glad you read all of that introductory Article 4, Finance Revenue. But to be clear, it's actually dealing with Section 2-197, Purchasing Procedures, D.
Yeah.
And then it goes on and on.
Right.
So let me tell you what this is about. Currently, our code of ordinances requires staff to get 3 quotes for any purchase over $100. So $100.01 requires staff to spend how much time trying to get 3 quotes to buy $100.01 box of pens or pencils or whatever it may be. So the proposal in front of you has been vetted with finance, trying to come up with an opportunity or a process to streamline this, save a lot of staff time dealing with it. To where the change is going from $100 to $1,000. So anytime a purchase order is issued greater than $1,000, it has to have the 3 price quotes. This is consistent with also trying to support our local businesses instead of having to reach out across state lines and do different things to get those quotes. We have found that some people won't even quote us anymore because we're nickel and diming. It's not worth their time for a $100 quote. So we just can't get quotes, so we spend a lot of time chasing that. Second, that change is that the purchase request, if over $5,000, shall be delivered to the town manager for approval. Then the finance director. Today alone, I have over 20 purchase order requests in my inbox. Some of them are for $40, some of them for $100, some of them are for $3,000. So the range is wide open. But we have department heads, directors, and chiefs who are fully competent of signing off on a purchase request for $1,000 without me having to take and micromanage that. That's what this is about. It's just a change. The time has come and it needs to happen. It'll streamline our opportunities and our efforts and keep staff moving forward.
Well, I for one am excited by the look on Ms. Autry's face. I had the personal experience of sending her to get through purchase orders to buy $90 worth of coffee. So I'm very excited that this is definitely streamlining the process. Don't get me wrong, once upon a time, we had to be this stringent in order to reset in the town. But we are now at a place of stability. As Mr. Rory just said earlier, we have stopped digging the hole and we're now filling it back up. We've got competent staff, as you said, in place to guide this, and so those stringent policies are no longer necessary. So I, for one, am ecstatic that this is happening. So thank you, Mr. Rory. And I will defer to the board for any comments or questions. All right. Mayor Pro Tem?
I make a motion that we adopt this, code ordinance.
Is there a second? Commissioner Thompson? I second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Awesome, I love unanimous decisions. All right, motion carries. Carla, you're welcome.
I was waiting for a round of applause.
This is huge, seriously. Right. All right, we will now move on to agenda item 9C, resolution 2020-410, adopting amendments to the North Carolina Department of Cultural Resources, municipal records retention and disposal schedule. Ms. Autry?
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, so, I am subscribed to ClerkServe, so I get a lot of information, and a question came through about how often should boards adopt this, and, the lady from the archives replied saying every time the books are amended. Well, I did my research, and these, was updated in 2021, and the last time this was adopted by resolution by the town was in 2016. So I put this on the agenda hopefully to, approve these amendments for the retention and this disposition schedules, so, the town will have to abide by those.
So basically, this is, the schedule when we disregard, records that we no longer need.
Right.
And so we have to adopt by resolution the timeframe, in which we dispose of these records. And as you heard, it hasn't been done in quite some time, so we should probably, look into getting this done tonight. So, I'll open up to the board for any discussion.
So, yeah.
Sure.
Thank you. So are we tonight going to discuss when we will dispose of records? Is that what we're discussing tonight?
No, that's not what we're discussing. We're discussing, adopting those amendments, to the schedules, which I can provide the whole, the retention disposition schedule, books if you want me to. They're pretty lengthy, but I will provide all that to you if you'd like me to.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, you're asking us to, adopt a schedule and I have no clue what the schedule is, I guess.
It depends on what it is. It goes by, it's yearly. It's, let's say we had something in 2014, it could've got shredded in 2018. It goes by years.
Yeah, but I still think, I don't care if we're voting on something, I don't even know what the schedule is, but I think you're
Okay.
just going to chime in.
Yeah, I was just gonna explain it. I think what this is really, is she's just saying that the, North Carolina Department of Cultural Resources puts these guidelines out for municipalities every so often. and apparently they put one out in 2021, and we haven't updated our policy to actually meet their policies. I think that's what.
Yes, in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
Yes, so
Right.
basically, she just wants us to comply with what we're supposed to be
Yes.
complying with.
We don't set the schedule. We're agreeing to it.
Right, we're agreeing to it, but I don't even know what we're agreeing, I mean, I haven't seen it. Can we at least get send a link to it so we know what the schedule is?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's all I was.
We can do it tonight, or y'all can put it off till the next meeting if you want, it's whatever y'all want to do.
It's just guidelines, that's all. it is.
It's guidelines.
Rory?
For North Carolina.
Mr. Rory, is this something that you feel we should move now, or is it necessary?
I think it's driven by statute and policy, and you're right, you don't set the schedule, and so you really don't get to defend, no, we're not gonna do this, we're not gonna do that. You walk down the hallways anywhere in City Hall, and you might see a box that says 2017. You go, well, what's in the box, and when it should be shredded? I can tell you, most municipalities have these boxes in the file room, shred date, personnel, finance, these types of files. So how long do you track papers, and just so you can keep papers when we live in a cloud environment? So all of this is about modifying our whole process, so we can still keep the information, but we're not keeping one paper after the next paper, but you're keeping it in the cloud, and then you're shredding it and disposing of it, consistent with state law and, Department of Cultural Resources. It's a trade-off, it's not gonna hurt you, but,
It's not gonna change anything either.
No, it's not gonna change it yet. Okay, I'm okay with it. I'm just saying that I don't even know what that schedule looks like.
I'll be glad to, work with Carly to make sure that we at least get you some type of a highlight version of that, because I don't think you wanna be books and books and books, but.
No.
Particular topic is if I ask anybody, how long do you have to keep a personnel file on police chief Darryl Jarman?
10 years, 5 years, 5 years.
Wait a minute, how's it forever, 10 years and 5 years?
Yeah, we don't.
So
we just
that's a
like-
highlighted thing that you need to know.
Right.
Right, but when it is shredded, for a finance document, because we spent $40 on some pencils, I'll be glad to get Carly to get you something.
Thank you.
Just to make sure that you got the information. Thank you. You okay with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Were you finished? Yes, ma'am. Mr. Porter?
Oh, I've been.
I'm not entertaining a motion, to approve. Motion to approve the resolution adopting the amendments to the North Carolina Department of Cultural Resources Municipal Records Retention and Disposal Schedule. Commissioner Thompson?
So moved.
Commissioner Chadwick?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We will now move on. Got you, Ty, here's your turn. All right, resolution, or excuse me, agenda item 9D. Resolution 2024-11 adopting the Cumberland County Community Development Block Grant Program and Home Investment Partnership Program amended corporation agreement. Is there a motion to approve? Commissioner Palacio?
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And that is all for business. Now it's on to our reports. And I get to go first. So, happy birthday to all of you in July. Those crazy kids. That's you too, Mr. Manning? Well, it's also, yesterday was Commissioner Placios' birthday as well. Happy birthday to you both. My daughter celebrated her birthday on the 4th of July. So July is a fabulous, fabulous month for birthdays, but August is next month. Happy birthday to Maynard Smith, our police sergeant, Commissioner Palacios, Matthew Quick, he's a firefighter, Rafael Torres from our police department. Miss Schaefer has a birthday coming up in fire, Deanna Rosario in stormwater, Devin Gloria in fire, Adrian, I didn't know your birthday was this month too.
Our next meeting.
We got you next meeting, and Lamar Allen in our police department, so happy birthday to everybody in the month of June. July, because it's not August. also, on a heavier note, I wanted to, send our deepest condolences to the Adcock family. Former Alderman Adcock, he served as Mayor Pro Tem and had a stint as mayor. He passed away on the 28th of last month, and so we want to send our condolences to his family. And please keep them in your thoughts and prayers. We did send a letter and plant on behalf of the town for the amazing service that he put in. So I just wanted to make sure that he was recognized and thanked for his service and dedication to this town, not only as a alderman, but as an astute businessman running the Adcock Funeral Home for years. Right. So lunch with the mayor is on the 24th. I don't know where it's at.
Guacaholic?
Guacaholic. One day I'm gonna know. At noon, so if you wanna come and have lunch at Guacaholic, we will be there eating nachos and chips and salsa, so please come out and join us. And I wanted to make sure the board knows that right across the street, we've got some amazing kids in a basketball camp. We've got celebrity NBA players. I don't really know who they are. I don't know basketball. But I know that they're like big time players right across the street. So if you want to go in, and these are our Spring Lake kids, plus kids from all across the county, right here, right there actually. So please stop by if you can, and just say hi. It was a joy to see those kids today. And that's all I have. Mayor Pro Tem, it's on you.
Thank you. So, one of the things I have is, we have something called the Sunshine List that our clerk does a great job with, and, actually made our pastor announce it in our church, because, you know, people call me and they have questions, and I say, well, you know, get on the Sunshine List, it's in there. So, I am putting it out there. If you wanna keep up with what's going on, if we're having special meetings, if you want the agenda packets, please send an email to clerk@townofspringlake.com and say you wanna be on the Sunshine List. And you don't have to just do that in Spring Lake, you can do that in the county and everything, but, please send an email to clerk@townofspringlake.com if you wanna keep up with what's going on. And the other thing is, Spring Lake Middle School's parking lot got paid. And the sign is now says Spring Lake Middle School and not Spring Lake Junior High, which it was when catering down there. Look,
Yeah.
she would church for me, she would be on that. So yes, the sign says, finally says, after, I don't know how many years, says Spring Lake Middle School. So, yay. Adrian and I are also part of the Spring Lake Middle School Booster Club. And we need a few good people to help us out to raise money to do things for the children, the athletes. So, we need your time and we need your money. So, you know, we would like everybody here to come volunteer. We sell pizzas at the games and all kind of stuff. And we are also, we sell t-shirts. So if you all come see us, we'll be glad to take you out. Commissioner Thompson.
First off, we're not taking the money that goes to the club for the children.
That's how I build training.
Secondly, since it's hot now, I would like to enforce hydration. You know, you have to be outside. You'll, put yourself on a work rest cycle and make sure you drink plenty of water. Check on your elderly too as well. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Lackman.
Here, I got a few things.
He got a few things.
First off, I'd like to thank Fort Liberty, for the 4th of July ceremonies that they put on out there. It was a wonderful time. It was an opportunity for elected officials, senior military people, soldiers to kind of get together. We were able to talk to a brigadier general while we were out there, other elected officials. So it's a good networking opportunity. Food was good, that was out there. It was hot, the soldiers were enjoying themselves out there under the tents, but, it was a great time. Cleanup, you know, I always talk about cleanup. On Saturday, we had 11 volunteers that came out. They were some first timers. Now you can clap first time. We had Gretchen and Olivia, part of the Girl Scouts. And we have Zakita and Christopher that came out there as well that wanted to do some volunteering. And as always, we've got Patrick, Lutz, Kimberly, Rawl, Levi, Adrian, and myself, we're all out there. Totals of the weight to be determined. It did get picked up that was out there.
No boats?
No boats. No boats. No boats, no cars. Lots of tires. Yeah, guitar. The guitar. So, we've already surpassed last year's total as far as weight. We had 70 volunteers last year. So far this year, we've had 60. So we are coming up on, you know, the word's getting out there. People are cleaning up the town. They're working hard out there to make our town more beautiful as we go through here. If that's a word. Military Veterans Affairs, you know, I've talked about them as well. We meet on the fourth Tuesday of each month, 6:30, right here at Town Hall. Our meetings are open to anyone. You don't have to be military, you don't have to be veteran. You can come out here, you just want to see what's going on, you can come out here, support. Maybe we can get the police chief out here, who knows, maybe eventually. We've got 4 organizations. We've got the American Legion, we've got 2 VFWs, we've got 4542, 9103, as well as the Nam Knights. The Nam Knights are quiet in the town, but I really appreciate what the Nam Knights do for military veterans affairs. And we've got 3 at-large seats for people either in Spring Lake or in our municipal area of influence. And we're really trying to work on getting an active duty soldier. We've got the military presence, we've got the veteran presence, but we're missing that active duty presence in here. So if we've got any active duty military that would like to participate in our military and veterans affairs committee, we would love to have your application as we go through here. And just to let you know, Commissioner Palacios does a lot with the appearance committee. The Military Veterans Affairs does things such as the Suicide Awareness Motorcycle Ride, which is coming up September 14th. Veterans Day program is November 8th, and we're going to be working with Commissioner Palacios with the appearance committee on that. It's going to be a wonderful time. We've had the Spring Lake Veterans Park that we're re-engaging to get that up and going again. Wreaths Across America, the town always participates in that. So the Military Veterans Affairs is very active in our community and does a lot of things. And if you'd like to know more, you can get hold of the clerk at townofspringlake.com, or you could go on our website there, go under your government, click on boards and committees, and click on the Military and Veterans Affairs Committee for more information. And what I would like to highlight, this is going to take a second, Mayor. So
All right, we praise you, show me the list.
all right, so for our residents out there, you know, I'd like to emphasize that progress is being made in our town. You know, you're seeing stability, honesty, as we move forward. Since we, the group that's sitting up here, has taken office, we've had 3 interim town managers, and now we've got Mr. Rory up here for a 5-year contract. We've had a change in town clerk to Ms. Autry. We've had a change in attorney to Mr. Porter, and an onboarding of a finance officer, HR. We've had a interim police chief, and now we're back to an interim police chief. We'll see what happens with that, as well as some key department heads. These changes were necessary and have taken time as we've gone through here. The Spring Lake is on the right track, and what we want now is the citizens' participation, the residents of Spring Lake. You know, we've heard your call, we've been working hard to make things better. Now we're asking you to help us make things better for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lackman. Commissioner Palacios?
Thank you, Mayor. We have our appearance committee update, our meeting on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday at 4 o'clock at the rec center across the street. So anybody that has any ideas or wants to get involved, we are also looking for a business owner in town. So you're welcome to be part of that committee, even if you don't live in the town but have a business here, because you have, interest in the town. And so we have our veterans mural getting ready. We are accepting sponsorships for that. We do need help with that. So those businesses, those stakeholders here in town, please note that we want you to be a part of it and, have some stake in that also. And we also have a sculpture RFP that's gonna be going out soon, because we're gonna be putting a sculpture at the roundabout on Post Street, which is at the end of Main Street. And so we wanna get some public art going there too. So we're excited about that. That's gonna be going out here shortly, and we expect some good feedback from artists here in North Carolina to be contributing to that. And, you know, Marvin, you really struck a chord with me when you were saying those things there at the end about the stability and the stuff about the town. We're not running for election this year because we don't have that, so take this for face value. As a representative, I'm very proud to work with this board and represent Spring Lake citizens. Like, this is not something that, you know, I thought of when I was younger, and now that, as of yesterday, I'm 39 years old, you know, but this is a big deal, and being able to serve here in Spring Lake and bringing that stability here, it's meant a lot.
Yeah.
Because this is home, you know. And so anyway, thanks for bringing that up. That kind of stirred up some stuff there, and got that out of my system. Mayor, back to you.
I love this board. Commissioner Chadwick?
I don't have any updates at this time.
Mr. Murray? This is my
Boy, do
favorite
I.
time. Okay, I'm ready.
Boy, do I. So I walked into the meeting tonight just with a little bit of humor, and the attorney's going through the agenda, and he's seeing the budget documents. And he looked up, and I said, we both agree, oh, no, not again, we don't want to again. And we're not. We'll talk about that again. We haven't adopted the budget. But I want to use that to segue into something that is in the budget. For the first time that I'm aware of, at least in this upcoming budget, the town manager has an account to do staff training, and it's known as Lunch and Learn. So, we will have our first Lunch and Learn opportunity on July 23rd and 24th. The topic will be strong towns. A lot of you have heard me talk about it. Bottom-up revolution, reveal prosperity. And so it is of key interest to me to have these conversations, especially in light of, just look at the audience tonight, Ty, right? CDBG. All right, Timothy about rezoning, the questions that come from that. Even Lieutenant Sutton sitting over here. And what role does he play in rebuilding American prosperity in terms of the town of Spring Lake? So we have conversations about that. We have conversations about murals. We have conversations about Main Street programs. All of these are issues and concerns that we will be discussing as part of this Strong Towns philosophy. It's dear to my heart because I believe that it is our responsibility to make sure that this community is fiscally healthy by any means necessary. This board has made some very strategic and difficult decisions. There are some that continue to be in front of us. And I want you to think about it from this kind of perspective. Commissioner Cooper asked me about the 8 units versus the 16 units versus the 13 units versus a step team or an R10 or something along those lines. And I said I would encourage the density. That is a philosophy of strong towns. I asked how about CDBG grant money for demolition. I'd be willing to match him dollar for dollar, anything to help us get rid of some of this blight in the town of Spring Lake. So that's what I mean about partnering. So I'm glad you stayed long enough to at least hear this conversation. So I want you to think about something just from a perspective of what development means. So I had a development of 64 units that occurred over a 2-year period. 64 units. The average tax value of the property of the 64 units, the median, you've heard us talk about that before with census documents, was $281,000. So of the 64 units, the tax value was anywhere from $250,000 to $400,000, and the average being $281,000. That generated or grew our tax digest equivalent to $18 million. growth in our tax digest was $33,000 annually in ad valorem property tax. All right, now stop, break just for a second. 64 units, all right, 18 million growth in the tax digest generates $33,000 of tax value, all right, to the community. It comes back to the community. Now, push in the clutch and change gears. One firefighter in that community, the total compensation for that firefighter was $77,000 a year. The 64 unit development increase in the tax digest of $18 million only paid roughly, maybe close to half for one full-time firefighter. So keep that in mind. Now, it didn't even begin to address the road miles of paving, the sidewalks that have to be redone, and so, or the number of fire hydrants that have to be maintained. And so what we're talking about from this Strong Towns philosophy is having growth in your tax digest to have fiscally healthy community, but not a runaway freight train in terms of ongoing maintenance liabilities that just go out, 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 and out. That's the whole concept of what we're talking about. We're talking about rebuilding American prosperity. We can't continue to annex and expand our services outside and outside. There's just not enough for us to provide those urban services if we don't have the density involved. That's why I said I encourage the density, especially if it's consistent with what's surrounding it. So mark your calendars. You will get an invite for July 23rd and 24th. It is not, although I have no problem with whoever wants to attend, feel the room as far as I'm concerned. It's not a public meeting, and so there's really no reason to notice you're invited to come. There won't be any public action. All right?
You're right.
Okay, the majority of the board here, but you're not voting on anything, so it's not really a public meeting that we have to notice. But it will be lunch and learn from 9 to 1. You will get an invite, and who knows, it'll also include our command staff, but the lunch might just be a PBJ extravaganza. Because the budget is limited to how much of the lunch we can do with the learning. We want to get the learning and just keep the lunch at a very minimum. So mark it on your calendars. That's what we have going on there. Second, the ordinance amendments that you've done already tonight in returns to the fee schedule, or the record schedule, and also the purchasing request. Our ordinances say in that very Article 4 that this goes to the purchasing officer. There is no purchasing officer in the town of Spring Lake. So you have an ordinance that says, a law that says it goes to the purchasing officer that is non-existent. So we've also reached out to this guy here on the left, and so our goal is to update all of our ordinances between now and June 30th of 2025. So, that's right. I'm giving it a little bit of latitude.
I hope so.
Okay, it's not gonna be August. And so when you look among the staff and you go, okay, we have an ordinance provisions in regards to building. And then we'll take a key role in that, any police activities, Chief Jarman. They will actually guide those by going through and looking at all of the revisions and providing you with red line documents that you can see the strike throughs and the changes. And those will all be vetted through our attorney in a staff meeting, either virtual, at least once a month, for anywhere 2 to 3 hours, so that we can have that before it comes to you. You will know that you will see it in a red line document. It's been vetted through the attorney. Staff has dealt with it. We've cleaned it all up. And we're trying to get you to adopt it as quickly, efficiently, and as transparently as possible. So that's all I have here. Stay tuned.
Oh, boy.
All's quiet on my phone.
For now.
For now.
Audit updates.
I don't have an audit update. We are still trying to get that together. I don't have anything substance to
That's policy, that's a lot of ordinance update, that's gonna be awesome. All right, if there is nothing more, thank you all